Good evening and welcome to the Young Rail Professionals Annual Awards 2020. My name is George Dorcott. I am the current Young Rail Professionals Chairman, and I'm delighted to have with me this evening Steve Mole, Managing Partner of CPC Project Services, our Young Rail Professionals Annual Dinner sponsors. This evening's agenda is pretty straightforward but very exciting. You'll hear a little bit from Steve and then from myself, and then we'll crack on with what we're all here for today, to celebrate the excellent work and achievements of the young rail professionals who have been nominated, shortlisted, finalised, and eventually the winner of the 3 YRP awards. So we've got up for grabs this evening, we've got the Young Rail Professionals Apprentice of the Year, the Young Rail Professionals Mentor of the Year, and the Young Rail Professionals Young Rail Professional of the Year. So this isn't the setting quite in which I thought I would be delivering this speech with Steve. Unfortunately, we're not in a great big glitzy event centre, and you guys don't have drinks in your hand, which of course would make me much funnier. But I still am delighted and to have you all here, and you're all very, very welcome. And I'm grateful for you joining in this celebration of all of the talent that we have in the railway. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we start. We've got two excellent back of office volunteers, Jacob and Isabella. And if you've got any questions for them or any issues, any technical issues, do please put that into the chat and they'll be able to respond. So Steve and I won't see that. This is a webinar format, so we can't see or hear you, and you can't hear or see each other. You've probably worked that out. So if you have any questions, use that chat and they'll get back to you. Of course, if you've got any more general questions about young rail professionals, get in contact with myself or the executive, go to our website. It's easy, and we can get back to you. There is a function where you can change the screen size. I understand you can drag the camera and the presentation around as you like. And we are recording tonight. That shouldn't be a problem for any of you because, like I said, you can't be seen or heard. And an advantage of not being seen or heard is you can make as much noise as you like when you're supporting your colleagues, your peers, your friends, as long as you don't upset any pets or family members. Before we move on, I did mention the back office staff, and I'd just like to take the opportunity to thank both of them in particular this evening. Jacob is our National Networking and Development Manager, and also organised the previous dinner that unfortunately was postponed in April. That dinner was postponed to October, and Jacob reorganised it for October, and now it's been postponed to the following April, and Jacob has again for the third time reorganised, I would hasten to add, with his team, the dinner. So that's a 3 times organising dinner, and if you speak to any of the previous organisers, once is quite enough. So thanks very much to you, Jacob, and for all the work you do. And secondly, to Isabella Lawson, who ran Rail Week for us this year, at the beginning of October. Now, as you can imagine, things are a bit different this year, and Rail Week is very much about face-to-face contact, going out to schools, getting young people into various facilities to show them what the rail industry, working in the rail industry, is like. Of course, we've had to do that very differently, and I'm just really grateful to Isabella for all the effort she's put in to really transform the effort and get us online, get things recorded and posted in advance, and really make Rail Week a success. So thanks to both. So without further ado, I'll hand over to Steve.
Thank you, George. And as always, it's an absolute pleasure to be part of an event organised by YRP. And it must be said, it's a real shame that due to the pandemic, we've been unable to go ahead with the annual black tie dinner as usual. But the YRP have made the right call and seen that it is important that the people who have been nominated for awards earlier in the year have their moment of recognition, albeit in somewhat subdued conditions compared to previous years. Now, under normal circumstances, my primary role on behalf of CPC at the annual dinner is to introduce the keynote speaker and participate in announcing and handing out the awards to the winners. But in the absence of the dinner, the drinks, the camaraderie, and more importantly, the absence of a keynote speaker who no doubt you all knew was due to be the Chief Exec of High Speed 2, Mark Thurston, I thought I would say a few words about CPC's ongoing commitment and support for the YRP and provide a brief look back at the keynote speakers I've had the privilege of introducing in the past. It's normally at this point I would comment on the atmosphere within the room and the fact that out of all the black tie dinners I attend, this is by far the most energized, exuberant and exciting event of the year. CPC has supported the YRP for more than 8 years, and during this time we have sponsored 7 annual dinners that have all been held in amazing venues, and we have received insightful speeches from 7 esteemed keynote speakers, including in 2013 we received an informative speech about apprenticeships from Sir Terry Morgan, former chairman of Crossrail. In 2014, having been to the dinner the previous year as a guest, he was so impressed that he signed TfL up as a corporate sponsor. And Mike Brown, former commissioner for TfL, gave a speech about the challenges of keeping London moving. In 2015, Simon Kirby, former CEO of High Speed 2, gave insight in how to mobilise a nationwide major project. And I must also add that all 3 of these events were held at the Grand Connaught Rooms in Holborn. Now, with its insatiable appetite to keep moving with the times and in recognition of its growth in the regions, the YRP committee decided that every other year the black tie dinner would be held outside of London. So with its first event in 2016 being held at the Railway Museum in York and the guest speaker that night being none other than the current chairman of Network Rail, Sir Peter Hendy gave a whistle-stop summary of his career from bus driver through to his current role. This was followed in 2017 with the event held at the Troxy Music Hall in East London, and our first female keynote speaker, Michelle Dix, the managing director of Crossrail 2. And she set out the challenges of launching a major project in the shadow of its predecessor, Crossrail. In 2018, we descended on Derby and had a wonderful event at the Roundhouse, and were all entertained by John Smith, MD of GB Rail Freight, as he walked us through his illustrious career. And last year we were back in London at the Old Brewery and enjoyed a keynote speech from Polly Payne, DFT Director General for Rail Group, who gave us insight into what it was like to job share at a senior level, as well as the day-to-day challenges faced by the DFT. So there's a brief summary of the venues and the keynote speakers of years gone by. So what about the challenges of today? At last year's event, we celebrated 10 years of the YRP. And this year, like most organisations, the YRP has had to respond and adapt to the challenges that the pandemic has placed on it and the wider rail industry. I've seen firsthand how George, as the current chair, has been measured and professional in his response, hoping firstly that the dinner would go ahead in April and then in October. So I hope all goes to plan for the event now scheduled for the 29th of April at the original venue of the Old Trafford Cricket Ground in Manchester. I'm also reliably informed that Mark Thurston has confirmed that he's also available as the keynote speaker that evening. So let's keep our fingers crossed that that event goes ahead. So during this challenging period, George and the other committee members across the regions have worked tirelessly, accessing their members and young people to deliver their attraction, promotion and delivery activities, organising and motivating YRP volunteers across the country, whilst ensuring that a work-life balance of their volunteers working from home is maintained. It is impressive to see how the organisation has used technology to continue reaching its members during lockdown, holding its professional development events online with more than 40 webinars and in excess of 1,500 attendees. This is an achievement that the founding members of our YRP will be incredibly proud of. They really did create a movement, and along with the early adopters, built an unstoppable momentum. And the YRP has proven that come what may, with an exciting vision, enthusiasm and drive, and commitment and hard work, an organisation can respond and adapt to change and continue to flourish. On behalf of CPC, I would like to say how proud we are to support and continue working with the YRP. I cannot think of a more worthy organisation to sponsor in the rail industry, and we fully support and align to its values to promote, develop and inspire the next generation of rail professionals. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Steve. And thank you for the kind words. They're really good to hear. It certainly hasn't been an easy year for any of us. And you're absolutely right. What has been key to our success has been our adaptation by changing the way that we operate and deliver to our members. I would just like to start by talking a little bit about myself and take you through very rapidly through my career through to today, where I'm chairman of YRP. And the reason I'd like to do this is it's such an opportunity to have this audience to speak to. You are exactly what YRP needs to help carry on the work that it does. I'm sure a number of people on this call already volunteer with YRP, and you're absolutely the people that this industry needs to grow, develop, stay current, and stay relevant. To that end, what I would like to get across to you is that you could be in my position in 1 or 2 years. You could be launching your career, and I'm sure you will be, as a future leader in the industry. So I've been in the rail industry for about 6 or 7 years. I'm an engineer. I am a keen musician, and during lockdown I learned to play the banjo, which I will not be giving you a rendition of now. You'll be pleased to hear. I now work for High Speed 2 as Euston Station sponsor, so I work closely with the department, and I really relish in the work I do with stakeholders, senior stakeholders across government and across the industry and across the supply chain. I joined the rail industry because I'm like many of you, I'm sure, I believe that infrastructure is a positive change for good, a force for good, and that connecting people via railways is a real boost for the economy and a real future solution for decarbonisation. So I've been in YRP for 3 or 4 years, and for 2 years previous to this, I was a national treasurer. Now, in that role, I got to understand the YRP as a business, as an operation built up of people and systems. And so my mandate for YRP this year was to really try and modernise our systems and change our governance structures so that we could maximise our efforts as a business. We don't make any money, we're not for profit. Our resource is people and our volunteers' time. And so by restructuring, I hoped that we would maximise our efforts and make best use of that time. Now, it's just as well we did, because a couple of weeks into my chairmanship, COVID hit and everything turned upside down. And the way that my teams responded and the way that the structures and subcommittees came together to support each other and to both support each other through the business, but support each other on a personal level was amazing to see, and I'm incredibly proud of those volunteers. It's been brilliant that our membership base has stayed engaged. We've launched a new website. We've had lots of sign-ups to that new community. As Steve highlighted, we've had well over 1,000 attendees at our webinars and our events that we've put on, and that's really great to see. It's really good to have a touch point. We've launched WhatsApp groups. We've got email shots going out, social media campaigns, and we're really trying to keep our young members connected, because there's no doubt about it, COVID is not good for young people trying to start their careers, trying to generate opportunities for themselves. Networking is difficult. Companies' belts are tightening. The first things to go often are the networking and development opportunities that the business would put on, because they need to focus on those core business activities. And I want YRP to continue to be that support function, and I want us to become much more of a community where there's feedback from our members and we become an influencing factor amongst government and amongst industry leaders. I've been asked to join a number of panels and boards during my tenure as chairman, which is a huge honour to represent YRP, and I can see us having a real influence to make sure that young people stay at the top of the agenda for rail, for the rail industry. We've been screaming for years about the skills shortages in rail across the sector, and the most sustainable way to solve that is through developing the next generation of talent and young people, and that's exactly the likes of you, and especially the finalists and winners that we are going to announce today. So I'm delighted to have you here. A few other highlights I thought I might mention to you that we are focusing on in the rest of this year, my tenure as chairman. Of course, we're all aiming towards the annual dinner next April, and we'll be delighted, fingers crossed it can go ahead safely. We'll be delighted to host everybody next year, our corporate members, and of course those of you who wish to attend. We'll run another awards for that if it goes ahead, so that will be sort of January time. Look out for invitations for nominations. If you're unsuccessful this time, or you know somebody who you'd like to nominate, please do get their nomination in. And quite often it's the power of the nomination that really hits home the achievements of that person. It really is a great deed to nominate a colleague, a peer, or a friend. We are looking to finalise the incorporation of young rail tours into YRP. For those of you that don't know, I'm sure most of you are aware, Young Rail Tours was set up a couple of years ago by an ex-chairman, Paul Case, and a team to run international railway tours. And they've run a couple. They went to Japan last year. Oh, that was this year. Goodness, that feels like a long time ago. Scotland and a number of other places. And we're pulling them into the YRP business to make sure they've got the support structure they need to make work they do more repeatable, more financially viable. So if you're lucky enough to get through one of those ballots, I wish you all the best on those tours. I mean, I can't wait until my name gets pulled out of the hat. They're so oversubscribed. We, of course, look back to the Black Lives Matter movement this year, a significant movement. YRP took some time to respond in a measured and coordinated fashion. We've set up a diversity and inclusion program. Bonnie Price, the National Vice Woman, is our head of that program, and I know they've held their first forum, and I'm excited to see what recommendations and feedback we get to that forum coming back to the chair's office and to the exec, so we can make sustainable change and ensure we're right at the forefront of the industry in terms of equality, diversity, and inclusion. So I won't bore you anymore. I think we're all excited and ready to hear about really why we're here tonight. The excellent young people who have got through the many stages of tough judging, and listened, hear from our shortlisters, finalists, and winners. So over to you, Steve.
Okay, thanks, George. As George has said, let's get on with the main event then, which this evening is the YRP Awards. Once again, it was an absolute privilege to be on the judging panel, and due to the high quality of submissions, it's becoming ever more difficult for the panel to select a shortlist. That said, I am confident that we have selected 3 worthy winners who fully embrace the values and ethos of the YRP. I would just like to mention and say thank you to the judges who reviewed and selected the nominations this year, and they were Isabel Adams from TfL, Paul Oxley from RSSB, Iona Orangaran from Rail Delivery Group, Julia Leach from CPC, George, and myself. And there was also another team that provided a first sift of all of the nominations through to the shortlist. So thank you to that team as well. So let's kick off with the award for the YRP Apprentice of the Year. So this award, we were looking at an individual's commitment to the rail industry, their teamwork and ability, vocational learning, how they inspired others, and some of their key achievements in their time within the rail industry. So let's see the shortlisted nominations. So first up, we've got Aaron Schofield, Transport for the North. Normally there'd be cheers and raucous affairs, but we're just going to have to imagine that. Chris Jones from Keolis Amy Metrolink. James Kingdon Freightliner G&W, UK Europe. Liam Cuddy, Northern Rail. Aidan Bunce Waters, Transport for London. India Wild, Bombardier Transportation. Jasleen Tamba, also from Bombardier Transportation. Steph Tweets from Unipart Rail Limited. Brad Gallagher from Arup. Jack Dorton from Telent. John Campbell from Siemens Rail Systems, and Zebed Ahmed from Siemens Mobility. And the finalists are, so let me just talk through each one of these. So first up, India Wild, apprentice at Bombardier. India is an exemplary female role model to her peers and upcoming apprentices. With a non-engineering background, many would have envisaged that India may have struggled with her apprenticeship. This is far from the case. She's proving that with dedication, drive, and an unsurpassed passion for rail, a non-engineering female can succeed. India is building her network across the business with the work she has been doing to set up a new competency training area for future employees. When complete, this training area will improve core competencies for all staff before they are based on a production line. India recognised the need to have an area for hands-on practice and demonstrations which females prefer and encourages confidence. She has shown initiative, proactivity, and excellent team working skills in liaising with other departments who have supported her lead role within the team. She should be very proud to have played a key role in this initiative. So well done, India. Second up is Jack Dorton, from Network Design Apprentice at Telent. Deciding university wasn't for him. Jack joined Telent's apprenticeship program 18 months ago and has made it his mission to absorb as much information as possible and to understand the rail sector, making the most of every opportunity, testing the next generation equipment, and keen to dispel the myths associated with apprenticeships and the railway. He blogs about his experience, inspiring others to consider a similar career path. Jack is always looking for ways to increase efficiency, particularly for repetitive tasks. He challenges the way in which things are done with a view to streamlining processes, but always in a positive and appropriate manner. He even highlighted improvements that could be made to a new network configuration tool, which was appreciated by all and has made him popular with the customer. Involved in the Telent apprenticeship program, Jack mentors the new apprentices and was part of this year's selection process, which was a great success and saw a record number of apprentices taken on. So well done, Jack. Third up is Jasleen Tamba, apprentice at Bombardier. Jasleen's progress as a young female apprentice has been exemplary, evidencing her going above and beyond her duties and maximizing opportunities that she is presented with. She demonstrates passion and enthusiasm for rail, which has been recognized by teams and stakeholders across the Bombardier organization. Jasleen's duties are always met to a high standard. She understands manufacturing drawings and assembly books, challenging with confidence the status quo of a predominantly male-dominated environment. This can be daunting as a young female apprentice in such teams. Jasleen continues to show a mature and self-starter approach through making effective decisions on her apprenticeship program, tasks and knowledge elements, which she sets targets herself for completion and cross-references for her work with the professionalism of an experienced individual. So well done, Jasleen. So I would just like to announce, out of those three finalists, the winner is for Apprentice, YRP Apprentice for 2020 is Jack Dorton. So Jack, you're the winner. Well done, Jack.
Well done.
Well done. I'm sure there's applause all over the country for you, Jack. Well done, and I'm sure your award will be winging its way to you as we speak. So, George, I'll hand over to you for the next one.
Thank you, Steve, and yes, well done, Jack. Fantastic. So it's my great pleasure to announce to you the shortlist as finalists and winner for the Young Rail Professionals Mentor of the Year. Particularly pleased to be giving this award out. I've recently received some fantastic mentoring, and my realization has been renewed for the importance of mentors and mentoring and giving back to young people in the industry. So thank you to all the mentors out there. Particularly in this nomination, we were looking for commitment to aiding personal development, assistance to meeting specific goals, sharing their knowledge and experience, showing value and respect, and of course providing support and encouragement. The shortlisters for the YRP Mentor 2020 are Miss AJ Buchan from TFL Engineering, John Hayes, Atkins S&C Lavalin, Nina Lockwood from Intuitive Recruitment, Russell Smith from Mock McDonald, James Nichols from Arup, Mark Watton from Talent, also from Talent, Peter Carragher, Sally Wells from Arup, Jane Sanders from Bombardier Transportation, and also from Bombardier Transportation, Nadeep Mann, Rhiannon Price from BTTC Infrastructure, and Steve Sutcliffe from Transport for the North. The finalists for YRP Mentor 2020 are Peter Carragher, Russell Smith, Sally Wells, and Nadeep Mann. I'm just going to take a moment to read to you some of their nominations. So for Peter Carragher, Senior Network Solutions Architect at Talent. Fondly nicknamed the STEM Dad, Peter Carragher supports many engineers, graduates, and apprentices. He helps everyone. A firm believer in learn by doing, Peter is renowned for giving those new to the industry a piece of equipment and encouraging them to technically investigate, play with it, helping to build their knowledge and gain confidence in a safe environment. Setting expectations from the outset, Peter makes it clear that it is acceptable to make mistakes, as that is how people learn. Notorious for the phrase, ask Google, Peter encourages individuals to explore solutions themselves, as he is an advocate of, if you are told, you won't learn. From the outside, this may seem harsh. Everybody who works with Peter knows he's doing it for their benefit, helping them to learn and inspiring a sense of accomplishment and pride, knowing they have solved problems themselves. Peter is passionate about developing the next generation, ensuring they gain the qualifications and experience to develop into the best they can be. Russell Smith, Principal Account Leader at Mock McDonald. Russell has an impressive history of mentoring his colleagues through the ICE. 30, the number of staff Russell has supported through ICE chartership. 20, the number of years Russell has been a DE SCE. 9, the number of Mock McDonald staff currently involved within ICE communities in the Northwest. Russell's engagement in mentoring initiatives within the rail sector sets the standard within Mock McDonald, and this has motivated other staff to give up their own time to engage with the development of their colleagues. Many of Russell's mentees are also acting as mentors to other construction professionals. This has subsequently developed a legacy of mentorship within the Northwest at Mock McDonald. Russell actively supports a breadth of corporate social responsibility initiatives within the Northwest outside his demanding work commitments by participating in school mock interviews, STEM events, and sponsoring Class of Your Own. This has subsequently led to the development of a network of younger role models supported by Russell, which undertakes a wide range of CSR activities. Some of the activities undertaken recently are 10 school careers events, 4 university lectures, 26 work experience students employed, and 50 university students invited into offices. Quite extraordinary. Sally Wells, Associate at Arup. Sally was nominated twice. Sally is also the UK Chief Engineer at Arup for Rail Telecoms, responsible for promoting skills, developing training, and providing support to staff through technical mentorship. Sally's experience goes beyond her technical knowledge and leadership. She is an exceptional example of a mentor and a woman excelling in engineering and rail. These are 2 quotes I'm going to read from each nomination. One of the key things I've gained from Sally as my mentor is the confidence she's instilled in me. Sally has encouraged me to improve my technical knowledge by taking the IRSE professional examinations, which I've recently completed with her support, and by going on an external secondment. In times when I've doubted my ability, Sally has never ceased to provide support. I have appreciated her encouragement in my interest to try out different sectors outside rail, which has allowed me to be exposed to exciting and challenging roles on world-class projects. She was key in facilitating my 2-month assignment to Dubai to work on an airport project. And the other quote from the other nominee. As a mentor and my development manager, she has always helped me identify, realize, and hone my strengths towards the closest state of perfection as possible. She has supported me to set realistic career goals and has been supportive and encouraging in the entire process of achieving them. Sally allocates projects, keeping my technical skills and overall best interests in mind. That really made me smile. You can hear the passion of appreciation carry through. And last but not least, we've got Nadeep Man from Bombardier. Nadeep's an area production and apprentice manager. This nomination recognizes Nadeep's excellent contribution and unrivaled commitment as a mentor within our organisation for 14 years. Nadeep works tirelessly towards encouraging and empowering our people, in addition to supporting females and wider diversity agenda within our production area. Nadeep's drive and determination, supported by his strong personal values in nurturing and developing people, is an inspiration to many colleagues, peers, and apprentices, yielding widespread positive outcomes. Nadeep's own early career choice of the apprenticeship route was discouraged due to family misconceptions of opportunities available. This had a huge influence on his passion and proactivity in his role as mentor, ensuring that the possibilities and opportunities available to all groups are taken full advantage of. Nadeep is a key role model in our team of mentors, promoting and endorsing the value mentoring brings to our people, teams, and business. Working on the STEM program, Nadeep has inspired young talent through mentoring and coaching activities with local schools. He's actively facilitated apprentices to be involved in activities to share and showcase their career journeys, providing additional mentoring to ensure they feel comfortable in such activities. Within apprentice recruitment drives, Nadeep has proactively mentored his team of apprentices to ensure inclusive practices supporting diversity and ensuring inclusion are embedded in those practices. His commitment and value contribution in supporting his colleagues with the recruitment was to the highest standards, resulting in the team securing our highest female apprentice and BAME intake on record. So absolutely fantastic accolades to all 4 finalists. Well done from me, and I'm very grateful. So I suppose it's the difficult time now for me to announce, but the joyous time also, the Young Rail Professionals Mentor of the Year for 2020 is Nadeep Man. Well done, Nadeep. Fantastic. Very well deserved. And as Steve said, I'm sure the young people watching this up and down the country will be celebrating what you give back to them and their colleagues. So thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to pass back over to Steve now for the last award.
Yep, thanks, George. So it's our 3rd and final award, and the original and the longest standing award, which is the YRP's Young Rail Professional of the Year. Again, we're looking at commitment to the rail industry, leadership that the individual has shown whilst being in the industry, how they teamwork and inspire others, and some of their key achievements over the last few years. So the shortlist of nominations for this award are, first up, Jason Caruth from Balfour Beatty Rail, Aaron Barrett, RSSB, Lauren Rogers from Network Rail, Matteo Vagnoli from Bombardier Transportation, River Timur Beeg from Hack Partners, and Daniela Miller from Mott MacDonald. We also have Luke Marsland from Network Rail and Reese Greenstreet from Sistra Limited. Roxana Lupascu from Colas Rail UK, Hannah Truscott from Bombardier, Manesh Patel from Talent, Richard Vigis from Transport for London, and Victoria Aviomo from Arup. And the 4 finalists in this category are Hannah Truscott, Jason Caruso, Lauren Rogers, and Victoria Aviomo. So well done to you 4. I will just read a précis from the 4 nominations for these individuals. So starting with Hannah. After learning firsthand about the huge impact of working with local schools, Hannah actively supported setting up Bombardier's STEM hub, working with key contacts from across the business. The hub consists of regular meetings between STEM ambassadors and management leads to review STEM activities, review support and coverage, and seek new opportunities for outreach within the community. Hannah has worked with other local rail organisations to support the delivery of a Women in Rail initiative to encourage unemployed women or those considering a career move to the rail industry. Hannah took the lead on organising the detail of the 4 Bombardier 2-week placements across our business functions, including operations, procurement and quality. Hannah engaged the function managers well and gained their commitment to the programme with ease, having methodically prepared meetings and plans prior to engagement. Throughout the programme, she worked with both internal and external stakeholders to deliver the placements, demonstrating excellent communication skills, initiative, and an unrivaled passion for the programme to be a success. One Bombardier candidate fed back on her placement and said, "I got to work like a real employee rather than just sit around. This helped me gain the opportunity to showcase my skills. I was provided with constructive feedback, which helped build my confidence and my skills." So excellent, excellent nomination for Hannah. Second up is Jason, section engineer at Balfour Beatty. So despite being relatively new to the industry, Jason has exhibited a great aptitude for leadership through acting as a role model in his leading engineer role during shifts in possessions, including signal and crossing refurbishments, wet bed and track renewals, and heavy civil engineering sites. Working with the site managers, he leads the site team in delivering right first time installations. Jason is shadowed by assistant graduate engineers who have benefited massively from his mentorship due to his commitment to inspiring and upskilling new members of the team who are training to become future lead engineers for Balfour Beatty. Jason has taken a leading role in 2 initiatives working with schools to promote and inspire the new generation of young rail professionals. In 2018, Jason led a team of graduates to deliver workshops with local schools with high proportions of BAME students to encourage them to be excited about rail and inform them of the sheer diversity of roles and skills in the industry. The presentations focused on the different roles in project teams, showing the diversity of skills and achievements of graduates undertaking those roles. This was a huge success, with the Deputy Headmaster of Harrow School writing to Jason to say that they were very pleased with the outcome. So well done, Jason. Third up is Lauren, Project Manager at Network Rail. Lauren is a fantastic example of a hard-working and successful young rail professional. In 2018 and 19, she was the project manager of the redevelopment and electrification of Wigan Springs Branch Depot, a £46 million project to enable Northern to stable 40 carriages at the site. The vehicles are cleaned internally and externally and stabled overnight before re-entering the network. This project was commissioned in December 2019, with Lauren's hard work and professionalism a key factor in this key milestone of the Great North Rail project being achieved successfully. As well as managing graduates and junior project managers, Lauren also inspires the next generation by attending many STEM events, for schools and colleges. Lauren is a credit to Network Rail and the wider rail industry. Her hard work, engaging personality and professionalism will no doubt see her deliver many more successful projects and continue to inspire more of the next generation to join the industry. So well done to Lauren. And the fourth finalist is Victoria. Victoria is the Assistant Key Account Director for the ARAT relationship, the Engineering Development Trust. Victoria's role involves organising and hosting students of different age groups at events nationwide. The aim is to introduce students to different career paths in engineering through developing engineering activities, organising workshops, office tours, apprentice and graduate meet and greet. The feedback from recent Roots into STEM event that she was involved in organising was that of the 30 students, the number of students who would definitely study a STEM subject after their GCSEs increased by over 20% following their participation in this event. Victoria was recognised in 2019 as one of the Electronics Weekly and RS Components top 30 under 30 engineers in the UK. Her nomination highlighted the opportunities for electronics engineering graduates in the rail industry by describing her role on the Great Western Electrification Project. Victoria was responsible for ensuring adequate GSMR signal levels were maintained in tunnels along the route. Victoria used tools to simulate the effects of overhead line equipment on coverage levels from the antennae within the tunnels. With the results of the modelling, Victoria was able to predict the optimum location for the new antennae, and Victoria's design delivered significant cost savings by allowing the OLE to be installed without having to decommission the existing GSMR equipment. So there we have it. 4 extremely impressive individuals who have been nominated by their organizations, people within their organizations. And it only now remains for me to announce that the YRP Young Rail Professional of the Year for 2020 is Hannah Truscott. So winner, well done, Hannah. Over to you, George.
Thank you, Steve. We are extremely proud of all of the shortlisters, finalists, and of course the winners. And a very well done to you, Hannah. I'm just sorry that you can't be in front of a huge hall of screaming fans to receive your coveted YRP prize. But as Steve said, there'll be one on the way to you in the post, which you can, I'm sure, proudly take a photo with and stick on social media, or just leave it on your mantelpiece, or give it to your grandma, however you please. It's now down to me to close the event. We've done what we came here to do. We've celebrated the achievements and heard some of the fantastic stories of the nominations from our finalists for the 3 awards. I'm very grateful to everybody who put forward a nomination, and to all of those who were nominated and have engaged. I look forward to us doing that again next year. I'd like to thank Steve and CPC, who have supported YRP now in our annual dinner for years. Your ongoing support is very much appreciated, and we're all very, very grateful. Thank you for your patience, of course, with what's been going on and the dinner being postponed, and for supporting this. Thank you to our other YRP corporate members for your ongoing support. We couldn't operate as a business without our annual memberships. If you are watching this call and you know that your organisation isn't a corporate member, or you suspect they might not be, and you want to get more involved, contact me, contact my team, and we can speak to your organisation about becoming a member. Thanks very much to my dedicated volunteers, YRP volunteers, for everything that you do, particularly the external relations team in light of this event and all the work that you've done in supporting promotion and the online activities since the start of COVID, and really adapting and stepping up. Thank you to my regions and for the work that you do in actually delivering this stuff, rather than just the management piece that I and my colleagues do in the background. And thank you to everybody who's attended this event and for taking the time to celebrate other young rail professionals and their mentors and what they've achieved. So thank you and good night.
Good night.
Good night.